All right, thank you. My name is David Pazgan. I'm the CEO of Kidokinetics. I met the founder of Kidokinetics about 4 years ago in 2020 and decided to become her partner to help scale her business. 80% of school-age children have two working parents, and at the same time, only 24% of those kids are actually getting enough exercise, according to the CDC. And I think we all also recognize the other headwinds that young children face today: screen time, too much time indoors, not enough time outside, things along those lines. And so Kidokinetics is here to solve that problem. We're a multi-sport enrichment program. We work with and partner with child care centers, private schools, and other venues to bring a sports enrichment program for kids anywhere from 1 year up to 12 years old. But most of the time it's preschool and early elementary. So we're working with the types of places that you see around, daycare and preschools and Montessori, such as Goddard School, Kinder Care, those kinds of facilities. We don't operate a brick and mortar location, so we go to those facilities to bring our classes. Classes are typically 30 to 45 minutes long, and we just do that at scale. So we try to go into a market and work with 20, 30, 40 different locations. The format is that we're usually there once a week, and one of the kind of neat things about our business, it's a lot of recurring revenue. So the schools that we work with often work with us for many, many years. Terry Braun, who's the founder of the company, who's based in South Florida, has many locations that she's worked with for almost 20 years now. Many of those are private schools where she's been contracted to come in and teach the the physical education programming. And then we also have a monthly recurring revenue model. So most of our parents on the enrichment side, where it's parent paid, are signing up for a monthly subscription model. So they may pay $20 to $30 per class, depending on the market. It's based on a monthly subscription, so they just get billed on their credit card every month. And we come in once a week and teach a class that's, as I said, 30 to 45 minutes long. Let's say every Thursday at 9:30 or something along those lines. So when I met Terry, the founder, she had been franchising for some time. There were 3 operating franchise locations. We grew it from 3 to 62 now. Currently, we're adding 1 or 2 new locations a month. And I come from a background in franchising a different company that I had sold to one of the private equity firms around here somewhere, and retired from that role and started looking, like many of you searchers, started looking for a new entrepreneurial opportunity to get involved in. And I met Terry through a mutual friend in franchising and raised a little bit of capital, and off we went. So I'll stop there and take questions.
How many customers do you need in order to be considered successful?
Depends on how you define successful. So in our industry, there are a lot of, I would say, owner-operators that are kind of running the business as a job. If you have a couple of hundred kids subscribed in your program at any given time, that's a pretty good number for an owner-operator. You're running a $250,000 to $300,000 revenue business at that point with good margins because you're running it firsthand. The biggest operators in the industry have thousands of kids enrolled at any given time. So it just depends on how much scale you want to get. I would say that these are the kind of businesses that take some time to build because you can't go out and just spend a lot of money on marketing and get customers. That's a very grassroots type of effort. So you're out building relationships with channel partners such as the schools and the daycares, private schools, et cetera. And the nice thing about it is those relationships can last for a long, long time, and they're low cost to develop. You just got to go talk to them. And so a lot of times what happens is, kind of to your point, operationally it gets complex. And so, if you get caught up in the complexities of operations, you stop going out and prospecting and building new relationships. So the folks that have been the most successful are the ones that have, dedicated operational teams, as well as, the owner and or some of their maybe sales team is out continuously developing new relationships in the market.
Because if I understand correctly, you would go to Goddard, but you want Goddard to sort of market to their parents.
Correct.
So then you end up with however many parents are at that one school.
Yeah, so a good example would be a Goddard school may have 150 children enrolled. If we have 10 to 20 of those kids in our program at any given time, we're doing pretty good. And that'll kind of like maintain. It's pretty, once you get that relationship going, it tends to stick for a long time, and your enrollments tend to stay pretty steady. You know, kids come and go from those schools, right? So.
And then on average, how large of a territory does one franchise work?
Our average franchise owner purchases 2 territories. The average territory is about 300,000 people by population.
Thank you.
For parents, kind of what's the ACV, right? Like the total annual spend you might expect from a parent if there's one child, let's say in like a Brooklyn or some other kind of more populous metro.
$1,000, $1,000 a year. It's about $80 to $100 a month, depending on the market, for the subscription model, and so it's around that.
Perfect.
Yep.
So does anyone require and equipment to get? We're going to get 2 in the audience. Just
Okay.
because you just do a plug-in is kind of fun. So who? Oh, right.
No, it was me.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what's your current churn and what's the top reason somebody would leave the program?
We're pretty new. So as I mentioned, when I met the founder, there were 3 locations. There's 60 something now. We've had a little bit of turnover, not much, but it's pretty early. And we added 40 locations last year, so there really hasn't been time for that to have much turnover. I think the main reason when people struggle is that the business doesn't lend itself well to the pure semi-absentee or absentee owner. And that, I think, speaks mostly to the fact that it is a business development type of play and a relationship development play. So the better operators, the ones who are having the most success, are, I call it being the mayor of Kiddo Town, right? You're going out into your local community, you're meeting people, you're talking to the schools, you're building those relationships, and those are the ones that are having the most success. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you guys provide those franchisees CE opportunities and everything so that they can stay on top of their curriculum?
What kind of opportunities? Oh,
Continuing education?
yeah, sure. Yeah, as a franchisor, we consider ourselves a training organization. And so continuous training is a big part of our MO. We're constantly churning out webinars and videos and other things to help train, because the people who actually go in and teach the classes are coaches that are hired by our franchise owners to go teach. And then we have to basically teach the operator of the business, the local operator, whether that's an owner or a hired manager, to be we have to train them to be the trainer. And so we're constantly providing a lot of content and so on for those folks to make it easier for them to train new coaches as they bring them on.
Okay, so one last question.
Sure.
When you joined originally, what was the hardest problem to solve first, and how did you go about it?
I would say that, for a lot of franchisors emerging, early stage, franchise development seems to be the biggest challenge. We pressed the easy button. We contracted with a franchise sales organization, and, we could basically outsource that function to a known partner, some people in the industry that I've known for a long time that I knew they would execute, and they've done that. And so they helped us grow really quickly. And then we had all kinds of other problems, dealing with that growth, right? So, scaling up infrastructure and support. All right, thank you.